Hello, this is RICKY, the Android guy. Hey guys, today I'm bringing you another side-by-side comparison of the two best Samsung phones for 2013. It is the Galaxy S4 versus the Galaxy Note 3. Today we're going to find out which one really is the best of Samsung's devices for the year. Let's check it out. Now, when it comes to look and feel, these two devices are very different. First of all, you might notice that my S4 is a bit different from most, and that's very easy. Normally, an S4 would come with this kind of backing, which is plastic, not beloved by most, and we saw that in Samsung's new iteration. So, what I do always point out though with Samsung devices in terms of both of these phones is that you can't always remove the backing and replace it. For instance, this is a glass backing for my phone. So you have lots of options, but I would say with the S4 you have more backings available. However, just going off the phone outright, the phone outright is going to be a lot lighter compared to the Note 3. However, in comparison with the stock case on there, it definitely won't have the same kind of look and appeal that most people are looking for in a smartphone nowadays. And by far, this was the biggest complaint about the S4 was simply its exterior design. Now with the case on, neither one of these will have that problem, but it's just a problem that is on these devices. Very easy in the hand though, easier to use one-handed for most people with this device. So that's important to note. Now on the other case, the Note 3, not as easy to use one-handed. However, the leather backing is by far the more preferred out of the two when it comes to stock backings. Look of it is fairly similar to the S4, but most people do like the way of the look and feel of the Note 3 better, even if one-handed is not necessarily ideal with this device. Now you do change that with the one-handed mode, which has not been working today for some reason, but normally you can shrink it down all to be able to use one-handed. However, for most average users, they would prefer the S4 for one-handed usage. So overall, this is very close, but since most people like the actual look and feel of the Note 3 in terms of materials more so, I will give it to the Note 3 for look and feel. Now when it comes to web browsing, these two are very similar with very subtle differences. First being, of course, screen size. You have a 5-inch screen on the S4 and a 5.7 on the Note 3. Now this does mean that the image will be a lot bigger on the Note 3, however the density is better on the S4, looking at 386 pixels per inch compared to the 441 pixels per inch on here. So, for the most part this should be clear, however this should be bigger. In terms of speed, let's check them out and see. As we see, the Note 3 just seems to be just a step ahead, and they both seem to finish almost at the same time. So very, again, subtle differences. And just how they move and how they scroll, very similar. Pinch to zoom. Again, very similar. And double tap. Let's try that again. And one more time. Again, just a second apart. The Note 3 seems to move a little bit smoother, but not dramatically so. The only thing that the Note, of course, has up its sleeve is with the S Pen. The S Pen, both of these devices have air view with your fingers, so if you hover over the top, it should basically activate certain drop-down menus, just as it would on a mouse on a computer. However, not every website does use AirView correctly with your finger. However, every website does use AirView correctly with the S Pen. For that reason, I kind of tend to lean towards the Note. It just gives a overall better experience when it comes to web browsing, I would say, just for its size and screen, as well as the pen capability to really make a mouse-like experience. Now, when it comes to music playing, this is kind of interesting. First thing I always note is placement of the speakers. Both have one speaker. However, the S4 does have it on the back, where it does have a little hump to try to discourage when you put it flat that it will muffle the sound. It still does get muffled. The Note 3, however, did again learn its lesson, whereas speakers on the bottom at least, so you cannot get it muffled up. Now, we're going to start with the S4 sound and then switch to the Note 3 and then go back and forth again. So let's check it out and see how it plays. Again, start off with the S4, then go to the Note 3, then back and forth.
But all that money don't equal the price of fame. From LA to New York, Seattle to the Bay, West Side, night flights to Oahu, getting late. Andrew, down in Vegas, they know where we stay. Last show in Cali, headed out to the Staples. I was a boy with a dream, had my hit in the clouds. Now I'm sleeping first class, got a bed in the clouds. Hit my pops to pick me up, and he said he was proud. King shit with a beanie on instead of a crown. Yeah, counting all my blessings. Shout out to the most high. Started from the bottom, now I'm sitting at the most high. Cheapsies to the business, now I'm literally so fly. Motivated by my brokenness, guess that's why they call it coach, right?
Okay, so when it comes to the two, I will actually give it to the S4. Now, both have their pros against each other. The S4 is louder and I would definitely say clearer. The Note 3 at times sounds muffled depending on the genre you're playing of music. However, the Note 3 does have a better bass, so I would definitely say depending on the music you're playing, you might like the Note 3 better. Overall though, I would say the S4 just does take it in the sound quality. When it comes to watching movies on either device, you're really going with the best of the best. Although some people may dislike AMOLED screens for certain things, no one can really deny that these are the best devices to watch movies on. For one, they can produce true black, which no LCD device can right now at the moment, and you have either neutral tones or more vibrant tones. So this is put on adaptive display and this is put on dynamic display. More vibrant, this one stays a little bit more neutral depending on the movie I'm watching. However, if I wanted to, I can switch it to photo, which is basically more neutral and life realistic than even LCD produces. So when you play them back, you just get a really good experience with both, and let's try that out and see how it looks.
The more I see the GS4, the more I want one.
Then you should get one.
I just feel locked in.
I mean, they have Smart Switch that transfers everything over for you.
I don't know if I feel like learning how to use another phone.
You had to learn how to use your phone at one point, didn't you?
Yeah. And you don't think you can do that again? That's what you think. Thanks for
Not sure why that didn't go away, but as you can see, in terms of both, they're going to be really good for watching for watching movies on either screen. Overall, though, the Note 3 will be the better experience just because it's a bigger screen. All of this does have the better pixel density. I think more people will enjoy the 0.7 inches more you get with a screen when watching Netflix or Slingbox or anything you have. Now, when it comes to the photo taking capability, these two devices are very similar to one another. They both have a 13 megapixel photo, and on average, they should get about the same kind of photos. Sometimes, in terms of this case, the S4 showed a little bit clearer, and other times the Note 3 shows a little bit clearer. So in terms of clarity, in terms of how they process the photos, they are very similar for the most part. Sometimes, again, more detail in the Note 3 and better focus, and sometimes on the S4 does just as good a job or a different preference. Ironically, on this one, we can see the clock and the 280, trying to zoom in as much on the same one. But basically, you can kind of see that in terms of the detail on both and the numbers, you can see the Note 3 does a little bit of a better job, including on the 280 on the map section, but overall they do a fairly similar job on all of these sections. Where it really stands out, a difference is in two areas. First one is low light. So I was in a room that only had this much light on the opposite side of where I was standing. Meaning in the auto, this is the photo you got. Very dark, no, not clear at all. However, I've long said that the S4 had one of the best night shots I've ever been able to see. Now, why is that? Well, on both of these devices, you have a night mode, quote unquote. Now, this is not the night mode in your mode section. No, confusingly enough, there's a mode called auto night detection, which gives you this shot, which gives you this shot instead of this shot. I'll move that up for you. So instead of this, you get this. A lot clearer, a lot more accurate. In terms of both these devices, generally speaking, the clarity goes a little bit better off on the Note 3. So as you can see in the text here, just a little bit sharper. And in terms of the skin tone, it's kind of in the middle, but this is a little bit more accurate. Now with the flash, we see that again, the S4 kind of gives you more of a tan, I guess you could say, as where the Note 3 gives you kind of washed out effect a little bit. However, the Note 3, what makes it prevail more than other devices that I've ever seen is this version. This is auto night or smart stability with the flash. So again, it's called auto night detection on here and it's called smart stability on here. Why did Samsung name it different things? I don't know. However, this gives you your perfect shot. Not only is the clarity just superb, but you actually get the correct skin tone. So again, this is not my skin tone. This is pretty accurate to what my skin tone looks like. And again, you can see the difference from here to here. Huge difference, and this is probably the best low light photo I've ever seen under these same circumstances. So I do credit Samsung on the Note 3 for having the best low light out of any phone I've yet to see. And then the last feature that the Note 3 has is it does have a video quality called 1080p at 60 frames per second, which allows you to see a video that's very good. So let me actually back off and then play it. And so you can see how clear that is. Hopefully you can see that on the camcorder. You can really see it with the human eye. It's 1080p at 60 frames per second. It's just really a pleasure to behold. Every person I've shown a video of this quality to has been wowed by it. I even had iPhone users wish they had this feature. So it's very good, and it's definitely something that makes the Note 3 stand out with when it comes to the camera. Now when it comes to gaming, both of these are going to give you great quality gaming. On here you have an Adreno 320 graphics card, and on here you have an Adreno 330 graphics card. So both are going to give you good gaming results. Of course, since the Note 3 does have the better processor and the better graphics card, overall it does play games better than any device I have yet to see. I have tried gaming on almost every device that's out here on the market, and definitely I would say the Note 3 has just done a better job compared to any device I've yet to see. It's really a pleasure to play games on there, and it's definitely the one to beat. Now when it comes to battery life, both devices do a really good job. The S4 is rated at about 17 hours battery life, whereas the Note 3 is rated over a full day, which is 25 hours of battery life. Now, which one is really the best? Definitely the Note 3. It's pretty much the top battery life in the US, really, because of its LED and processor. I've even seen it kind of hold its own against the Droid Max, which even has a bigger battery. And it's just again because LEDs are going to be better for energy consumption compared to LCDs on the market. So which one's going to give you a better battery life? Well, both should give you a day, but I have an editor, actually, my editor for the channel had the S4, and his battery life was almost always on red every time he got to the studio. However, the Note 3 definitely outlasts him longer by the time he gets home. So just in that scenario, you can see that the Note 3 will have just a longer battery life compared to the S4. Both are good battery life, but what I typically tell people is for average users, you typically get a day usage out of this and typically get a day and a half out of this. So that's what you can expect from these two devices in terms of battery life. Now, when it comes to extras, as you can see, you have pretty much the same kind of software on both these devices. Not really too much in terms of extra features that have been added from the S4 to the Note 3. I actually do have both of them running on Android 4.3 as well, as my S4 just got the update. So what really does separate the extras apart? They both have removable battery, they both have removable SD cards, they both have IR blasters. So what's going to make the difference? Well, you guessed it. It's this accessory over here, the S Pen. The S Pen is really going to make the difference in terms of these two. And even though this does have Android 4.3, it doesn't have certain features that's on 4.3 on here. It's kind of like the drag and drop. Basically, you can drag and drop on split screen, make pairings on split screen as well. Certain features are just not on this phone with Android 4.3 as they are with the Note 3. Will they come in the future? Possibly, but it's not guaranteed. So for the extras, the Note 3 does have the extra just based on the S Pen alone. Now, when it comes to price point, there's obviously always different options to go by. Now, these two products outright do cost a difference of $724.99 for the Note 3 compared to $6639 for the S4. However, if you go by like monthly installments at AT&T, for instance, we have $27 a month versus $35 a month. Now, important thing to note, this is the 16 gig model as opposed to the 32 gig model, which the Note 3 by default comes with 32 gigs. So you do have more storage built on this one for the price difference. Now, for the S4, it would be a total of $50 more for the total price point to get that for AT&T. However, not every carrier has the 32 gig model of the S4. If we go to a different carrier over here, let's move that aside, and see here, we have $49 down compared to $199 down. Again, this would be $639, I believe, on T-Mobile for full price, and $22 a month, whereas this one would be $21 a month. So monthly, you'd be paying the same thing. However, obviously, the down is much greater. So you're talking about almost $150 difference, really, $150 difference down when it comes to these two devices. Again, this is a 32 gig model, so it's very important to note if you did want more storage, this has that option built into it without getting the micro SD card. So in terms of price point, obviously though, the S4 will take it for the lower price point. All right then, let's tally it up. When it comes to look and feel, overall it goes to the Note 3. Although some people might like the smaller size of the S4, the Note 3 is definitely more of a premium feel. When it comes to web browsing, the Note 3 takes it for the S Pen capability and really like a mouse style to it. When it comes to music, the S4 will take it, just better sound quality overall comparing the two devices. Movies will go to the Note 3, although the S4 has better pixels per inch. Most people will just like the bigger screen, and that's the main thing they're going to notice for watching movies. When it comes to the camera, the Note 3 takes it, although generally they're going to look the same. When it comes to low light, it will go to the Note 3, as well as the amazing new video quality. For gaming, it's going to go with the Note 3, just better graphics card built into it, and just going to be playing games way better than any device I've really yet to see. When it comes to battery life, the Note 3 is pretty much the top in the US, so you can't go wrong with it. When it comes to extras, the S Pen is really going to be the main differentiator between them in extras, and that's what makes the Note 3 ahead in the extras category. When it comes to price point, the S4 is going to be the lower price. However, I do always preface that it is a 16 gig built-in storage versus 32 gig on the Note 3. So when we tally it all up, yes, the Note 3 is the better phone. Now, obviously this is going to play a difference if you're looking for more of a size. For a smaller compact device, S4 is good. But when people ask me, is the Note 3 better than the S4? The answer is, as you see, yes. Yes, it is. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this comparison. Please give a like and thumbs up at the bottom if you did, and share this with all your friends, and follow us on the social networks. Thank you for watching. This has been RICKY, the Android Guy.